Alright guys, welcome back to one more GT Sport video. One thing before we get started that I like to mention is that yesterday when I released those two videos, one of them going through everything that the demo has to offer, and the other one was supposed to be a race but turned into a video showing the new camera options that you can find available in the demo, and I believe in the full release as well. But one thing that I did notice while I was playing the game, specifically racing on that second video, was that my car was a little bit slow. I was basically crushed by the AI at the professional difficulty setting. And I realized that there was something off in there, but I thought that it was just a matter of the AI being unbalanced, like in Forza Motorsport. Turns out that wasn't the case. It wasn't until I started recording some videos where I was gonna show you some bits of the campaign mode that are available in the demo that I noticed something very weird. I realized that I've been playing with a controller, with a faulty controller for at least 6 months. Basically, the R2 button on my DualShock 4 has gone to shit for over 6 months ago. And I checked back on a couple live streams that I did while the beta was active, and I realized that the R2 was only registering 2/3 of the press, and now it got worse. It is only registering half of the button press, as you can see on the video in the screen right now. So there will be no racing videos until I get a new DualShock 4. So this might take a few days, but once I get the new controller, I'm gonna explore some of what the game has to offer in its campaign mode, and I hope I get the controller on time before the demo gets deactivated before the release of the game. So okay, enough chatter. That was more of a full disclosure thing. There's one thing that I like to explore, which I found very interesting. I was playing with it last night, and I found some very interesting stuff in the Scapes mode. For those of you unaware, Scapes mode is basically a photo mode, but it feels like more of a studio photography kind of thing, even though most pictures are outdoors. What I mean by that is that you have, in the full game, you're gonna have over 1,000 different pictures which you can place your cars on, and then your car is gonna absorb the lighting information, the color information, everything that's in the picture. Your car is gonna absorb, so they look like one. And we have a bunch of these pictures available for us in the demo for us to explore. We have a couple of places, we have a selection, we have themed based collections, so that's what we have access to right now. And one of the most interesting things that I found in this mode yesterday was, I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly, but I kind of remember Kazunori Yamauchi, which is the game director, mentioning earlier this year that you were gonna be able to export the pictures you take in the Scapes mode at 4K resolution only if you had a 4K screen and a PS4 Pro. Don't take my word for it, but I might be remembering correctly, but that's what I kind of had in mind. And I'm glad to report that this is not the case, at least in the demo. Let's choose a nice location. We have a bunch of kind of locked Scapes locations. which means we're gonna have to download it from the PlayStation Store. This is a free content, but apparently it's not gonna come with the game. So I'm not even gonna bother scrolling all the way to the end. Let's go with this one. I really like the volumetric light that this picture has. So we're gonna choose this one, and what this mode basically has to offer is you get the location, and then you can choose which of the cars that you own. You can sort them by manufacturer, country, category, drivetrain, all sorts of sorting options. We're gonna use the Beetle GR3, which I unlocked yesterday on the daily workout sort of marathon. But anyway, here we have the car. This is not as flexible as a full-on photo mode. We have basically a bounding box that kind of limits which positions you can place your car in, and in some of them you might even get stuck. As you can see here, it's very choppy, not because of frame rate or anything, but basically because we're hitting this bounding box, and it kind of limits our ability to move our car around. I wish I could just have the car facing the camera, but doesn't look like we're gonna be able to. Oh, we can actually. We actually can. I just found something out. So if you press the R2 button, yeah, you can rotate the car 180 degrees. There's a square button, switch target. I don't know what this is all about, but yeah, that's great. So we're able to place the car facing forward. That's great. And here off to the right side, you can choose the degrees at which your wheels are pointed at. So let's turn it all the way to the left. We can turn the headlights on or off, as you can see here. We can turn the brake lights, but of course we can see because it's in the back. We can turn the turn signals. Let's leave that off. And then here you have the advanced options, which I believe are going to be available in the full release. You have reverse light, fog lights, ring lights, position lights, splash lights, and all sorts of lights that you can turn on and off at will. You can delete the car, you can change the selected car that you choose, and if you press the R1 button, you're gonna go into the camera, and that's where the fun starts, because you're able to customize a lot of options like you would on a DSLR camera. So you have exposure correction, shutter speed, focus, aperture, and here panning shot settings. A panning shot is the technique of matching the movement of the subject with the camera. So I don't know what this is all about. Maybe this has something to do with camera shake, or the sense of, keeping your car in focus while the background remains blurred out, like as if you were passing by really quick. Let's turn that off because I don't think that's the right location to do that. Let's try a more open location to experiment with this effect. Here you can choose the aspect ratio. So you have 3:2, 16:9, and 1:1, which is square format. And here is where things get interesting. If you choose medium, I believe you're going to export to 1920 by 1080, which is 1080p resolution. But if you leave it at high, you're going to export that at full 4K resolution. You're able to save the file onto a USB drive and transfer into your computer, just so you can see the file at full resolution. Mind you, I'm not using a 4K screen. I'm using a 1080p Panasonic TV. So I don't have a 4K TV, but I can still export it at 4K resolution, which is awesome. I really wanted that option. And here you have you can change the button assignments for some of your buttons, so you can customize the way that you frame the picture. Now that's where things get a little bit clunky, because in order for you to view the picture in full screen, you have to press and hold down the trackpad. And here you can zoom in, you can tilt the picture. If you press if you press the left analog stick, you're able to tilt the camera, zoom in, zoom out, and if you press the right analog stick, you're able to kind of look up and down and pan the camera left and right. I just wish that we had a way to kind of view the picture in full screen without having to hold down the trackpad. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe that's a feature that's going to be implemented into the full release. I don't know. But as it is, you have to press and hold it down. If I'm wrong, if you know a better way to do it, leave in the comments down below, just so I know that I made a mistake. But okay, that's a good enough angle. And then we can also press R1 and just change a bunch of color temperature settings and all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna leave it at standard. Okay, that looks good enough. I don't know what this is all about. Yeah, color fogging correction. I've never heard that term before, but that's okay. Here we can correct the exposure, so you're basically balancing out the whites and the blacks in the picture. And here we have a bunch of filters that we can apply onto the picture. I'm not a big fan of these, but I get that in some cases this might look. And you also have a preset that you can pull off, that you can pull up from another picture that you took. So you have film grain mode. We have a bunch of options, just like an editing software. So you have a lot of control over the kind of picture that you want to take. And then you press triangle, it's gonna render out the picture, and that's the cool stuff for people using 4K monitors, 5K monitors, and wanna have cool wallpapers without having to dig around. You can have wallpapers done with your cars in them, and I believe that once you get your liveries done and apply it to your car, you're gonna be able to take pictures of your own personal and customized car and use that as a wallpaper on your computer, which is a great feature to have. And once we render out the picture, you press X to save, yes. And this share button, I thought it was gonna give us an option to share it on Twitter or Facebook, but apparently it's locked up to the kind of social network that they have in game, so you won't be able to share it with third-party services, which is a pity. It would be awesome to be given the option to share these pictures at full resolution, so you could download them from a third-party service without having to plug in a USB storage device to transfer the file. Anyways, guys, hope you liked the video. If you liked, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more GT Sport content, and share the video with your friends and on your social media because it helps me out a lot. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye.